gentlemen, good evening in Israel, good afternoon in New York, and good morning to our West Coasters. I want to welcome you all to the 27th annual Kelen Maccabim Scholarship Ceremony. It's great to see everyone online tonight. So as all you can see, this year's ceremony is a little different than in years past, given the circumstances currently prevailing around the globe. We greatly appreciate everyone's cooperation and flexibility in adapting to the Zoom environment, and we're thrilled to be moving forward with the festivities, rain or shine. As we'll be spending the next hour or so, together, I wanted to share a few words, introducing myself, and explaining my affiliation to the Kelen. My name is Jacob Zucker, and I grew up in Northern Virginia, where my family still resides. I completed my undergraduate degree in Middle Eastern Studies and Arabic at Princeton University before making Aliyah to Israel. Thereafter, I served 2 years in the IDF's Paratrooper Brigade as a lone soldier, and I'm now pursuing my master's degree at Tel Aviv University. I became acquainted with Professor Manashli and the Kelen Maccabim community through the research I've been doing on campus related to Hezbollah and Iranian proxy groups. But enough about me. We've got a stellar lineup for tonight, and I won't keep you all waiting. However, a few important points before we begin. For those scheduled to speak tonight, please try to adhere as closely as possible to your time allotment. We're working across 10 time zones and have a full schedule, so we hope to stay on track. Also, I'd like to make the general reminder to everyone viewing and participating in today's event to make sure your microphones are muted. And for those of you that will be speaking live, please remember to unmute yourselves before speaking. On another note, this ceremony is being live streamed on Facebook. If anyone is having trouble finding the link, just check out the Kelen Maccabim page, and the live feed should be right there. Lastly, in the event that this particular Zoom link crashes, chas v'chalila, we have a backup link that can be found on the invitation everyone received by email. But hopefully, the tech will bear with us tonight, so fingers crossed. This is our first year-end ceremony on Zoom, and we thank everyone in advance for their technical cooperation. So without further ado, I would like to turn the floor over to our first speaker, Professor David Manashli, for some opening remarks. Professor Manashli has been a teacher and a mentor to generations of students. He is the founding member of Tel Aviv University's Alliance Center for Iranian Studies, as well as a co-founder of the Kelen Maccabim in Israel, and has had a prolific scholarly career in the field of Iranian and Persian studies. Professor Manashli, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jacob, and thank you, everybody. Good afternoon in New York, and good morning in the West Coast, good evening here in Israel. On behalf of the board of Maccabim in Israel and all our colleagues who helped us to put together this program, I'm honored to open this meeting, which is really different from what we have been used to in 27 years. This year, usually we keep this program around this time of the year. This year, 2020, we tried to do it close to Passover, and then Passover was knocked out, and so we moved to our original date, but in different format. It's Maccabi Foundation. In US, it's Maccabi. In Israel, it's Maccabim. It's a foundation that is based on one major issue, is education, and also education, as they said as many times as you want. It's one major goal of the Maccabi Foundation is narrowing gaps, social gaps in Israel through the vehicle of education and promoting academic education, science, technology in Israel. We started in the early 80s, but it was sporadic, and with the generosity and support of people like Elias Kalimian, Yosef Shairi, Amir, the three brothers, Bukhur, Salim Morad, Professor Lalezari, and of course, Mr. Zion Ma'afar. But then in 27 years ago, we started moving, expanding, and do it in more systematic way. You can see very briefly in the slides that we'll show you about the growth of the budget. You can see that from 2015 to today, we more than doubled the budget of Maccabi Foundation. Part of it is coming from return of loan of scholarship that students get and they pay back, and that's why we can expand it. Of course, through the hard work of Maccabi Foundation in Israel, we reached a level of 5.5 million shekels this year, and we continue to raise money and to give more scholarship this year. The second chart will show you the number of students, which shows basically the same thing. You can see that again from 2014 to 2020, 1,200 scholarship. It's more than twice growth in scholarship. And to remind you that this year we have not yet finished giving grants. The situation is bad, and we are trying to accommodate as many students as we can. The third graph, which is really, for me, it's very important to see the gender between men and women, boys and girls. And there is a steady, in the last decade, we can see that 60% of the recipients of our loans in all levels, from undergraduates to PhD, the 60% are female. If I can tell you about our Ethiopians or students from Ethiopian origin, the level of the number of girls is 70% and boys 30%. Maybe we have to do some major initiative to help the boys to get more to the higher to university education. The other slide that we show here is the division of the students from undergraduate. This is the undergraduate students, students from Ethiopian descent. And this year, it was raised to close to 300 students, which was in the last 5 years, it's growing from year to year. 55 PhD students, and you can read the rest. We don't help only Iranians or students from Ethiopian origin. If there are students who have come to us and there are special needs, we help. For example, there is a girl that is now an officer in the army in the terrible terrorist action. Two of her brothers, brother and sister, was killed, and she managed to somehow to overcome and get to the university, become officer in the IDF. We don't ask her if your parents came from Russia, Poland, or wherever. If you hear about students' real cases that it sleeps in the streets because they don't have money to pay for their food and dormitories, and the university don't care for them, we do it. But we cannot solve all the problems of students in Israel. We limit ourselves to the two major communities, those who are from Iranian origin, those who are from Ethiopian origins. I don't think we can exaggerate what we can say about the importance of education. For a country like Israel, education is the major, the top priority that should be for any government, doesn't matter right or left or whatever. If there is an existential threat to Israel, I would say it's not the Iranian nuclear threat, it's the social nuclear threat that we have in our communities. The best way to overcome this divide and to bridge the gap between the different strata of society, it's education. If you want to promote the security of Israel, we have to go to science, technology, education. The economy of advancement of the country depends on education. And that is exactly what we are doing. And I want to tell you another thing. We cannot compete with our neighbors in numbers. In quantities, we are peanuts compared to them. For each Israeli student, there is a professor in the Muslim countries around us. For each citizen in Israel, from the age of day one to the death, for each individual in Israel, there is a student in these countries. So we have to go to the quality, and quality goes back to education. finally, I want to say a word to our donors. Today, we are honoring three wonderful families, Mafar, Moinyan, Naim. This is alphabetic order. They are the main donors of the Maccabi Foundation. We are endorsing them with this title of Diamond Donors of Maccabim. And maybe they don't know, in many ways, they are in different business. But today they can be proud of entering a new enterprise through a new business. This is the business of jewelry, diamonds. I'll tell you why. The best asset that Israel has is the young talents of our boys and girls, which are the real diamonds of these countries. And thank you, all your family and all the other donors, for helping us to take this raw material, the students, polishing them and let them shine, and going to successful, maximize their talents to go to successful career for themselves, for their community, and for the Jewish state of Israel. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Professor Menashe, for your opening remarks. As you all can see from the metrics, the work this foundation does to provide scholarships and promote Iranian and Persian studies is truly invaluable, and here I'm speaking from personal experience. Particularly in a time like this, the assistance provided by the Keren is an enormous support to hundreds of students and aspiring scholars. Now, we're going to turn to a blessing sent to us by Mr. Yitzhak Buzi Herzog, one of our guests of honor this evening. After an impressive political career, Mr. Herzog now serves as chairman of the Jewish Agency. As a former minister of Labor, Social Affairs, and Social Services, Mr. Buzi Herzog is acutely aware of the important work this foundation does. Let's turn it over to Mr. Herzog.
Dear friends and members and supporters of the Maccabim Foundation, Keren Maccabim, in fact, an outstanding organization that supports people, and especially young Israelis and Jews all over the world and in Israel, in some of the most important projects dealing with education. And today we are marking the scholarships which are changing the lives of human beings by the fact that you get a scholarship and you jump another step in your ability to enter the entire world, which is so elaborate, complicated, and based on a lot of academia. I want to congratulate my friend Professor David Menashe, a world-renowned, outstanding scholar. I want to congratulate my friends, the expats of the Iranian Jewish community all over the world. Me, as chairman of the Sochnut, the Jewish Agency for Israel, I find great pride in the fact that we cooperate with you in this very impressive event, because the Sochnut has been out there in Iran throughout the days, and of course because of the story of Iranian Jewry all over the world, still is an amazing story to tell medor lador, from generation to generation. So good luck in this venture, and may you continue to sow seeds that turn lives of human beings, especially Jews and Israelis, to a better future, just as you're meeting the objectives of Keren Maccabim. Thank you, toda rabah to all of you, and be'atzlacha.
So unfortunately, he wasn't able to be here live with us, but we greatly appreciate the video and the appreciation and the blessing that he sent to all of our donors, all of our participants, and all of our students that are recipients of the Scholarship Fund. So let's all give a big thanks to Mr. Herzog, as well as our partners over at the Jewish Agency and the UJA for their enduring support. Our next contributor is none other than Mr. Eli Cohen, Israel's current Minister of Intelligence. Mr. Cohen has had a prominent political career during which he has served as Minister of Economy and Industry, as well as sitting on the Committee of National Security Affairs. Mr. Cohen has also been a longtime friend and supporter of Keren Maccabim. Without further ado, I present Mr. Eli Cohen.
לכל התורמים והתורמות של קרן מכבים, אני רוצה לומר לכם תודה. תודה בשם מאות סטודנטים שמדי שנה זוכים לקבל מכם מלגות. לא אחת נאמר שהשכלה היא המפתח להצלחה. השכלה וחינוך הם הדרך למוביליות חברתית, לבוא ולהתקדם בחיים. אתם מוכיחים שכל ישראל ערבים זה לזה, גם בישראל וגם בתפוצות. השנה האירוע נערך במתכונת מיוחדת בגלל הקורונה, אבל יצא לי לכבד את האירוע גם בשנים הקודמות, ואני בטוח שגם בשנים הבאות, וראיתי מקרוב את האכפתיות, את הרצון לבוא ולסייע. אז אני רוצה לברך אתכם שתמיד תהיו בין הנותנים, ולאחל לכל מאות הסטודנטים בכל רחבי הארץ שזוכים לבוא וליהנות מהמלגה בהצלחה. תשקיעו בלימודים, מפתח להצלחה בחיים. בהצלחה.
So let's hear a big thanks for Mr. Eli Cohen. We want to re-emphasize our appreciation for all the support we get from the Jewish Agency and the UJA. We're now going to switch gears and hear a bit from Ms. Chloe Polmoradi. Ms. Polmoradi is a talented Iranian Jewish composer, multi-instrumentalist, and singer from Los Angeles. She has been so kind as to volunteer to send us some samples of the wonderful music she produces. We will have the privilege of hearing a few pieces over the course of this evening. Chloe, the mic is yours if you'd like to introduce yourself with these folks and share a few words with the audience on the unique art that you produce.
Hello, friends in Israel, in the US, and wherever else you may be watching. So I wanted to greet you and speak to you not just as an artist, but as an Iranian, as a Jew, as an American, and mostly also as an educator. I've been teaching music for about 10 years. And before I share the music with you, I just wanted to share my experience of education and why it's so important and what role it played in my life, which is it expanded my ideas, it expanded my innovation, it expanded my awareness of the world. So that is the gift that you give to a child, that you give to a human being every time you grant them the blessing of education, is ability to innovate and expand their mind and awareness of the world. So some of the music we're going to be sharing with you today has great awareness of the world. I've written a lot of music in many, many different styles, combining influence from my own roots, from my Persian, Jewish roots, from music I've studied in different countries also, and in different languages. I hope it gives you some comfort, some inspiration. Music, I think, has the greatest ability to communicate something that words cannot even communicate. So I hope this gives you a little bit of breath and inspiration. Thank you for having me. It's always wonderful to be a part of your programs every year.
And thank you so much for being with us this fine evening, Chloe. And now we can all sit back, relax, and enjoy the first sample of some of Chloe's music. Let's hear it.
فردا
Chloe, thank you. You've really created something special here. Thank you for sharing with us a little bit of your art. And don't worry, folks, there's more where that came from, so hold tight. Now, I would like to take the turn to the chance to turn to some of the individuals and families whose generosity makes all this happen. Over the course of this past year, 200 scholarships for work in a diverse variety of academic fields have been awarded in loving memory of Naima and Nehemia Naim. The Mr. and Mrs. Nehemia Naim Memorial Scholarship has been given in loving memory of Nehemia Naim, Shi'eh Zichrono Livracha. His dedication to the state of Israel was unwavering and flowed down to his children and grandchildren. He was a longtime supporter of the Maccabi Foundation, and his passion for the work of the organization endures through his legacy of giving and involvement. Nehemia Naim was born in Isfahan, Iran in 1922. He attended the Alliance School and started his first business at the age of 9 years old. He married Naima Tzadik, and together they prospered and raised a successful family. However, Nehemia experienced the violence and horror of anti-Semitism from a very early age. With his father Moshe, they pioneered the Aliyah of Jews from Isfahan to Israel. He was also involved in the organization Anjuman Karimian and helped many people in need during the Islamic Revolution of Iran. He thereafter moved to New York and started a successful business with his sons. Family and religion were always the central aspects of his life. He passed away at the age of 96 years old. The scholarship will be a flame of remembrance for the souls of this dear man and wife. And now, we'd like to share a few words of blessing sent to us by Mr. Shon Naim, the grandson of Nehemia and Naima. Let's take it away from Shon.
Shalom. My name is Shon Moshe Naim. I am the son of Sion Mark Naim and the grandson of Nehemia Naim, Zichron Livracha. First off, on behalf of myself and the entire Naim family, we hope everyone watching this is safe, healthy, and well during these unfortunate times around our world. Today I am here to speak about my grandfather, Nehemia Naim, Zichron Livracha. He was born in Iran in 1922, and in the 1940s, he met my grandmother, his wife, Naima Sadiq Naim. Together they had 6 children, 21 grandchildren, and 21 great-grandchildren. In Iran, my grandfather experienced cruel and life-changing anti-Semitism from an early age. These experiences helped fuel his lifelong passion for Judaism and Zionism. After the Iranian Revolution in the 1970s, Jews faced a harsh environment in Iran, and many were imprisoned. Being that Nehemia Naim was a leader at a synagogue in Tehran, and knowing the Muslim community through his business, he decided to take action. He committed himself to helping his fellow Jewish brothers in jail. Through the organization Anjuman Karimian, he would assist his fellow Jews by vouching on the prisoners' behalf in Muslim courts. My grandfather's legacy and teachings are deeply rooted in our belief to do good unto others, which is why he and the Naim family have been committed to the Maccabi Foundation. The Maccabi Foundation has been active in advancing social equality in Israel for the last few decades. It is that commitment to assist students to aspire to a higher education where my grandfather believed is our duty to support Maccabi's mission. We are proud to be a part of the Maccabi Foundation's past, present, and future. Thank you.
A big thank you to Sean and the entire Naim family. Truly, your contribution is invaluable, and we all thank you from the bottom of our hearts. I'd now like to turn to another family to whom recognition is due for their unbounded generosity. A further 200 scholarships were granted this year in loving memory of Mr. Ayub Moinyan. Ayub Moinyan was born in Kashan, Iran in 1928. At the age of 13, he began a career in Tehran's bazaar selling fabrics. For 35 years, he translated his textile earnings into properties across the city. Forced to flee his home, Mr. Moinyan and his family moved to New York. Drawing on lessons learned from his dealings in the bazaar, Mr. Moinyan once again built parallel ventures in New York City in real estate and textiles. His business endeavors have enabled him to once more leave a lasting philanthropic mark, always seeking to help those in need all over the world. Mr. Moinyan was a man of hard work, ethics, love of family, community, and Israel. His optimism was contagious, and he always shared his knowledge of life with everyone. This scholarship is a fitting expression of his philanthropic vision. It rewards a person's past endeavors and invests in the future. It is kindness with a purpose. Now we're lucky enough to hear a few words from Mr. Joseph Mouinyan, the son of Ayub, and his lovely wife, Ms. Nazi. Firstly, a bit of background though. Mr. Joseph Mouinyan is the founder and CEO of the Mouinyan Group, a successful real estate firm in New York that has pioneered the development of emerging neighborhoods in major metropolitan areas across the US. He is a noted philanthropist who supports the arts, civic organizations, and healthcare issues. He is a devoted member of the Jewish community and is a recipient of the prestigious 2017 Community Leadership Award. Ms. Nazim Mouinyan is likewise deeply involved in a number of academic, political, and charitable projects. She is currently a PhD candidate at St. Andrews University in Scotland, in addition to holding 2 master's degrees from Columbia University. Professionally, Nazim was Hillary Clinton's foreign policy advisor on Iran during her presidential campaign, and worked as a consultant on Iranian affairs at the Council on Foreign Relations. She is a trustee at the New York State Council for the Arts, Barnard College, and the Jewish Museum. Nazi and Joe reside in New York City with their children Matthew, Mitchell, Mahtab, Morgan, and Michaela. And now we have the privilege of hearing some remarks from Joe and Nazi themselves. Mr. and Mrs. Mouinyan, with great due respect, the floor is yours.
Professor Menasheri, آقای سیون ماهفر, also co-presidents, Mr. Pur Moradi, Mr. Sina Mahfar, my very good friend. We recognize and appreciate the huge effort of Maccabi organization. Thank you for the honor given to Mouinyan family in memory of our father. Proud to see so many students and graduates are from Iran and other areas, and we wish them the highest and the best in all their endeavors. You make us proud in America hearing of all your success and very, very hard work. Nazi?
Thank you for the honor of being able to speak for my beloved my beloved father-in-law, who I loved deeply. I was his first daughter-in-law, and I learned a lot from him. I learned to have joy of life, hard work ethic, perseverance, being able to finish a job completely. He was always behind us doing whatever we were doing, always encouraging us. He was an immigrant with huge discipline and huge love for Israel. And that translated into a very committed children, all of them. My husband, Joseph, my brothers-in-law, Moin and Morris, and my sister-in-law, Rochelle. And I am very proud to be part of this family, very proud to have been his daughter-in-law, very proud to have learned the lessons of life that I have learned from him. His insistence that people need to get better every day, to learn from others, to keep joy in their lives, and to move forward. Thank you for the honor, and good luck to you, and thank you for what you're doing for all of us.
Let's give a big thanks to Joe, Nazi, and the entire Mouinyan family. May Ayub's memory be for a blessing. Thank you all. Now, we would like to present an address sent to us by Mr. Parviz Pourmoradi. Mr. Pourmoradi is a successful businessman based out of New York. He has displayed a lifelong dedication to philanthropic and charitable causes, and currently serves as president of the Maccabi Foundation in New York. Without further ado, let's turn it over to Mr. Pourmoradi.
سروران گرامی و یاران مکابی، شما عزیزان مشعلدار علم و صنعت و سپاه ترویج علم و دانش و فرهنگ یهودیت در اسرائیل هستید. اگر یهودیان در طول 2000 سال پراکندگی و غربت توانستند موجودیت ملی و باورهای مذهبی و فرهنگ والای خود را حفظ نمایند، تنها به علت آن بوده که همیشه دست کمک و همیاری به سوی یکدیگر دراز کرده و یار و پشتیبان یکدیگر بودند. اما موفقیت ما در اجرای این هدف مدیون شخصیت‌های نیک‌اندیش آقایان سیون مافر، الیاس کلیمیان، یوسف شاهری، امیر بخور و زنده یاد سلیم مراد که هر کدام از یک امیدنگری روشن برخوردار هستند و آن تعلیم جوانان مشتاق علم که جامعه آینده اسرائیل را می سازند و نادیده نمی توان از آن گذشت. این خدمات به کمک افراد خیر عملی می گردد. در خاتمه از یاران مکابیم اسرائیل که ریاست آن را به دست توانای پروفسور دیوید منشری و همرزمان ایشان که توانستند در جامعه اسرائیل نام مکابی را از محبوبیت خاصی برخوردار نمایند. من شخصا از زحمات بیکران ایشان و یکایک یاران مکابیم تشکر کرده و دستشان را میبوسم و از تمام عزیزانی که از بورس تحصیلی برخوردار میشوند آرزوی موفقیت و سلامتی و آرزو نموده. امیدوارم که شما عزیزان در راه خدمت به کشور اسرائیل مثمر ثمر باشید. شالوم.
Thank you, Mr. Pomoradi, for that heartfelt address. We're now going to hear from Mr. Sina and Mr. Sami Machfal. Sina and Sami are the two sons of Mr. and Mrs. Zion Machfal, another one of our diamond donor families, about whom we will hear later. And Sina and Sami are both main drivers behind the work we do over here. Sina is a co-president of the Maccabi Foundation and a dedicated philanthropist. Sina and Sami, it's a pleasure to have you both with us tonight, and the floor is yours.
Good evening, everyone, and thank you for participating in this ceremony. Thank you, Mr. Pomoradi, for your kind words. I would like to congratulate the students on receiving their scholarship and wish them Mazal Tov and a successful year ahead. We look forward to hearing your success stories and hope you continue your involvement with us at the Maccabi organization in the future. On behalf of the New York board, I would like to thank Mr. Menasheri and the Maccabi board members in Israel for your tireless efforts year after year and organizing the annual scholarship ceremony. Mr. Isaac Herzog, Mr. Eli Cohen, thank you for your kind words and your participation. To Danny Khalut, a good friend of the family, thank you for being a great supporter of Maccabi Foundation since inception. Dear Naim and Moinian families, you have been long-time supporters of the organization. Your participation has been essential in our success, and your generous donations in memory of your loved ones are very much appreciated. Your dedication and commitment to the state of Israel has been unwavering, presenting opportunities for Israeli youth to pursue higher education and thereby fortifying Israel's strength as a leader in the international arena. To my dear parents, Sion and Sionit Mafar, on behalf of my siblings, Simin, Sima, Sami, and I, and the rest of the family, thank you for instilling in us a love for and the responsibility toward the state of Israel. Mr. Mafar, your passion for Israel is well known amongst our community, and we hope you can continue your relentless effort for 120 years. I hope the family can follow in your footsteps. Thank you for being such a good example to the family. This organization was founded about 35 years ago by you and other community leaders based on the belief that the success and well-being of a nation and its society relies on the strength of its higher education. Thank you again. I would like to thank the New York board members and all other donors for their support and dedication. Thank you all for your participation today.
And thank you for your address, Mr. Machfal, in addition to the valuable work that you and your brother, Sami, do day in and day out for this foundation. It's truly indispensable. And now we will hear a few words from Lieutenant General Dan Chalutz, another one of our esteemed guests of honor this evening. Lieutenant General Chalutz has had, as I'm sure many of you know, a decorated military career. Highlights in what is a lifetime of service to the Jewish state include his tenure as commander of the Israeli Air Force and IDF Chief of Staff from 2005 to 2007. Lieutenant General Chalutz and his wife Irit have been guests of honor at the Maccabi Gala in Long Island, New York, and are long-standing attendees of our annual ceremonies. Both Dan and Irit are close friends as well of the Machfar family. Lieutenant General Chalutz, thank you for being with us this fine evening. With great respect, the mic is yours.
Thank you. Good day, everyone. It's an honor, a privilege for me to say some words of thanking and greeting you on this special occasion. It's a unique event of awarding scholarship under the coronavirus impact by Maccabim Foundation. Following the Maccabim Foundation for many years, almost from the beginning, I must tell you that I'm highly impressed to the level that you brought this organization up. I think that at the beginning, we saw something that is starting to flourish, and today we see a huge tree that gives a lot of fruit. From that, all students, hundreds, thousands of students are enjoying. There is no way to exaggerate about the importance of higher education to the Israeli youngsters. Think that you are supporting for so many years. It is only the only way in order to be able to compete in the very demanding society that we are having. And I believe that by that, those young students, that I'm congratulating them for getting those scholarships, will be the future of our country and will lead us to new venture, to new era in many, many aspects of life. Those youngsters are not only the future, they are only the future regarding their education, they are the future regarding their influence in the society, because they are setting an example to others that everything can be achieved and everyone can get a fair chance to complete this life. So I want to thank you, everyone, the Naim family, the Moenian family, and of course, the Mafar family. Being part of the Mafar family for many years, I just want to praise Sionit and Sion for the unstopped effort for many years, a lot of energy, a lot of time, which is invested in loving Israel and raising the donation in order to enable the youngsters to get their education. So thank you for giving me the opportunity to thank you. Good evening.
Thank you for being with us this evening, Lieutenant General Chalutz, and thank you again for your lifetime of service and sacrifice in defending the Jewish state. I'd now like to recognize another family for its unwavering generosity and critical support to this foundation in the form of the Maccabi Scholarship dedicated in honor of Mr. Tzion and Ms. Tzionit Machfar. Tzion Machfar, the son of Mazali Yerushalmi and Hirel Magrefte, was born on August 28, 1932 in Isfahan. Due to his father's illness, Tzion had to leave high school at an early age and started working to support his family. As a young man, he opened his own business in Tehran for the distribution of pharmaceuticals and soon became very successful. In 1976, the Machfar firm was recognized by the United Nations as one of the most reputable companies in all of Iran. In 1959, he married Tzionet Yerushalmi, and together they have 4 children, Simin, Sima, Sina, and Sami, 2 of whom we met earlier, 11 grandchildren, and inshallah, a great-grandchild on the way. Tzion is a symbol of success in all aspects of life, from his pharmaceutical business in Iran, to his real estate firm in the US, to his open-handed philanthropy the world over. His love for family, the Jewish people, and the state of Israel is unmatched. Tzion is a self-educated man. His knowledge of Jewish history and all religions has been a lifelong passion. Those who know him are familiar with his mantra, education, education, and education, with the addendum of tolerance and love for all. Zion Machfal's legacy is to bring people together, to support those less fortunate, and to instill the love of Zion in his children. He and his loving wife are the driving force behind the Maccabi Foundation, the Dol Vado. Now, we're fortunate enough to hear a few words of blessing from Mr. Zion Machfal himself. Mr. Machfal, the floor is yours. Thank you for being with us.
جناب آقای فیروز بنشری و خانواده محترمتون و خانواده تمام همکاران محترمتون. من سیون مافر هستم که 28 سال در خدمت شما بودم و صحبت کردم، من را راهنمایی کردید و افتخار دارم که یک کار بسیار خوبی را شما انجام دادید، ما هم همراهتون بودیم. خواهش میکنم از طرف من و خانواده‌ام به تمام همکاران محترمتون سلام میرسونم، همشون 120 ساله بشن. من در ضمن از جناب آقای کلیمیان دوست بسیار عزیزم، آقای یوسف شاعری دوست عزیزم و آقای موینیان دوست عزیزم و خانواده محترم نعیم همینجور تشکر میکنم که خیلی خیلی کمک کردن و اینجا رو ساختن. خواهش میکنم سلام من را بده تمام خانواده خودتون، خانواده تمام همکارانتون سلام برسونید و امیدوارم که 120 سال بشید و من هم زنده باشم بیام باز بتونم صحبت کنم. البته فرزندان من سیمیز، سیما، سینا، سامی همشون به شما تشکر میکنن و همیشه در فکر دانشگاه تل‌آویو و تشکیلاتی که درست کردیم مکابی انجام خواهیم داد. به همه سلام میرسونم، همه را دوست دارم. خدا حافظ. به خانومتون، به فرزندانتون، به همه سلام برسونید. خیلی ازتون ممنونم. خدا حافظ. خدا نگهدار کشور یهود و تمام دنیا باشه. خدا حافظ.
Big thank you to Mr. and Mrs. Zion Machfal for your profound generosity and unwavering support. It was a great address. And now that we've got to know the Machfal family a bit better, Mr. Matthew Hamapur, the grandson of Zion and Zionit, has been kind enough to contribute a few words of his own. Without further ado, let's hear it from Matthew himself.
Shalom from New York. My name is Matthew Hamapur. My grandfather, Zion Mafar, was born on August 28, 1932, in Esfahan, Iran. He is the son of Mazal Yerushalmi and Hillel Magrafta. At the young age of 8, he moved with his entire family to Tehran to begin his education at the Etad Elementary School. As a result of his father's health problems and family financial hardships, Zion had to leave school prematurely and start working to support his family. At the age of 16, Zion started working for a pharmaceutical import company. After 1 year, he and his brothers started their own import business under the name Mafar Company. Over the years, the Mafar Company secured exclusive rights to distribute essential pharmaceuticals, representing 8 major pharmaceutical companies in Iran. In 1976, the Mafar Company was recognized by the United Nations as one of the most reputable companies in Iran. Zion Mafar married Sionet Yerushalmi in 1959. Together, they have 4 children, Simin, Sima, Sina, and Sami. 6 months after the Iranian Islamic Revolution, Zion left Iran for Switzerland. The family resided in Switzerland for 4 years. In 1983, he moved to New York with his family. While in New York, he started a second career in real estate along with his children. From childhood, Sion has been a great supporter of Jewish causes, especially supporting the State of Israel. While in Iran, the Mafar brothers made major contributions to the Iranian Jewish community, including a funding of the construction of the first Jewish old age home in Iran. In New York, Sion became a frequent speaker in many Persian synagogues, helping to raise funds in support of Israel. Sion has been honored by many Jewish organizations for his philanthropic activities supporting Israel. In 1993, Sion, along with his friends, Mr. Elias Kalimian and Youssef Shaeri, started the Maccabi Foundation to support underprivileged Persian students in Israel. Over the years, their Maccabi Foundation has partnered with Tel Aviv University to fund scholarships for Sephardic students pursuing higher education after completion of their IDF service. For over 27 years, the Maccabi Foundation, with the help of many donors, has assisted over 14,000 students. Sion is a self-educated person. His knowledge of Jewish history and all religions has been a lifelong passion of his. Those who know him are familiar with his mantra of education, 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 and his love of all people. Sion Mafar's legacy is one of bringing people together, supporting those less fortunate, and instilling a love of Israel in his children and anyone that he comes into contact with. He loves Israel as if it were his own child, and will continue passionately supporting its future development and growth as any proud parent would.
So thank you, Matthew, Sion and Sionit, for your contributions tonight and for the advancement of scholarship and learning you all and your family promote every day. Your support is, simply put, indispensable. And now, we're going to be treated to another musical interlude brought to us by none other than Ms. Chloe Pomoladi. Let's hear the clip.
از سنت پا تو خون ما خدایی with angels and insects.
Truly incredible, Chloe. Thank you again. It's really something. So, changing gears a bit, we're going to now move on and go to hear from 3 students who have actually been beneficiaries of the scholarships that you kind, ladies and gentlemen, have made possible. First up is Mr. Ryan Pulati. Ryan, if you're ready, take the floor away, my man.
Honorable donors, distinguished Professor Menasheri, Maccabees, members and fellow students. My name is Ryan Purati. I was born and raised in Tehran and made Aliyah to Israel with my family 20 years ago. And first of all, I want to thank you for the scholarship you granted me during my bachelor's degree and today. Thanks to your support, I acquired my degree at the Technion in 2018, inventing a novel fabrication method combining architecture, advanced manufacturing, materials, and structure. Today, as part of my research, I'm leading a multidisciplinary study. Ever since I remember myself, I aspire to be an architect, and without my parents' inspiration and your investment in me in the last years, I couldn't be where I am today. So thank you, and just one sentence in Persian. میخوام از شما تشکر کنم. من قدر کارهایی که برای من کردید و میدونم و برایش خیلی ارزش قائلم. Thank you.
Thank you, Ryan, and we all wish you the best of luck. And now, second up, we'll hear a few words from Ms. Zulish Weba, another one of our student recipients of this year's scholarships. Zulish, take it away.
So hi everyone, I'm a little bit excited, so apologize for my English if it's not be that good. So my name is Zurish, I'm 30 years old. I'm born in Ethiopia and made Aliyah with my family before 22 years ago. And I'm a student in Hebrew University of Clinical Psychology. So in the few short time that I have, I want to tell you the journey that I'm made to be where I am right now. For me and for my family, education was something very important. But for me, it wasn't clear always that I'm going to be in clinical psychology because the journey for that was really long, and to be able to make it, you need to have the support, financial support that for me I didn't have. So the moment or the reason that make for me it helped me to make the decision to go to this journey was when I was in work in women's shelter, and I have to translate for women who didn't speak Hebrew. And I saw the need of people who speak the language to make it possible for women who don't speak Hebrew but needed help to do it in their own language. So I decided that I'm going to do it, and it's given me motivation to work hard and to get every help that I possibly able to get to do this journey. So really without the Keren Maccabeen, especially for Moyan family, I wouldn't finish my degree. It's the second year that I get the scholarship for the health professional. So it's really important, and the impact is huge. And I really hope that the way I got this scholarship and the way the scholarship helped me, I hope that one day I can give back for a student like me, because I really believe that the change is in education. If you have education, you can be a role model and to make difference. So thank you so much for the scholarship and for the help that I got. Thank you.
And thank you, Zulish, for what is truly a personal and very moving story. And now, last but not least, we have a final testimonial from our third student, Mr. Omer Aloni. Omer, take it away.
Thanks a lot. I'll try to be quick and to set it in time. So, honored members of the board, dear representatives of the generous donating families, dear students, first, please kindly allow me to thank you for offering me this exciting opportunity for expressing my gratitude on behalf of us, the thankful students, and if I may, on behalf of the graduate students and young scholars writing their master thesis and doctorate dissertations in particular. I'll get to it in a minute in its time if the honored moderator Jacob would allow me. My name is Omer Aloni, and besides being the proud grandson of my beloved Iranian grandparents Eliyahu, may he rest in peace, and Ziona, or as she was originally named back in Isfahan before immigrating to Israel as Iran Sameach, And then when she immigrated to Israel in 1948, the officer at the border control decided or recommended her to change her name from Iran, to Tziona as a pioneer of Zionism. So my grandmother, may she live long, Be'ezrat Hashem. So besides being this proud grandson, I have just been entitled as a Doctor of Law by the Tel Aviv University Faculty of Law. My dissertation is going to be published by Cambridge University Press, hopefully in 2021, on the evolution of international environmental law. Maccabim Foundation and the Naim family were once again so generous, as the foundation and the Naim family were so generous as the foundation has chosen me this year as the recipient of a scholarship. The special contribution in memory of Naima Naim and Nehemia Naim. May their memory be a blessing. Words are truly not enough to express how grateful I am for your constant and enduring support in my research and in my goals as a young Israeli scholar, striving nowadays to complete his academic and intellectual journey and to be hired, hopefully, for a tenure-track position here in Israel after several years abroad as a postdoctoral fellow. This is indeed an exciting journey, but it is also a very challenging one, especially in terms of financial costs and perhaps even particularly nowadays with a sense of uncertainty covers all around the world. Therefore, the genuine and sincere support by Maccabim Foundation literally enables me and my colleagues to succeed and to become young lecturers in different excellent academic institutions across the nation, contributing and influencing the social fabric of our thriving academic system. As it supports young master's students, PhD candidates, and postdoctoral fellows, Maccabim Foundation truly enriches the variety of perspectives, voices, perceptions, communities, stories, and, as we've seen, legacies that create altogether the continuing and renewing multi-pot society of Israel. They do that also in our time of the 21st century, and the foundation brings it also into the important arena of the academia. This time, not only as students, but as lecturers and scholars who set the course of the ship, and those who will be shaping the framework of higher education in Israel, as Professor Menashe, for example, which is this kind of contribution is so valuable for many different fields of our economy, public service, politics, law, industry, media, science, and culture. The transition between the intensive year of writing the master thesis and then the PhD dissertation, and then achieving a postdoctoral fellowship, not to mention being hired for a fixed position, is far from being simple, both in the academic and research terms, and especially in financial and economic terms. Those who cannot afford this challenging stage won't be able to apply for any position in the academia. Therefore, and I'm concluding, this is not only valuable, but even crucial based on my own experience in recent years, that institutions and associations that focus on promoting students and young scholars from a variety of communities and sometimes also peripheral sectors of our society. So it's important that these associations, as the Maccabim Foundation, will continue to support their candidates and students. Thus, I'm certain that these important and generous bodies, such as, or first and foremost, the Maccabim Foundation, which continues to promote so many students and young scholars from all around Israel, will be honored and maybe even satisfied, I hope, in turn, to see how their young graduate students taking their position in the Israeli academia, shaping it and contributing to its evolution and success as a significant part of our society. And as we say in Hebrew, so let's hope that in next year we'll see each other either in Jerusalem, in Yerushalayim HaBnuya, or in Tel Aviv, but either way in Israel. So thanks a lot and good evening.
And a big toda rabba to you, Omer, Zulish, and Ryan for being here with us tonight. And just to put these testimonials into perspective for our viewers, these represent just 3 of over 1,200 examples of the real-world impacts your scholarships are having. So it's truly incredible. Keep up the good work, guys, and good luck on finals. And now, for wrapping up for the evening, Let's hear a final piece of music so generously provided to us by Ms. Chloe Pomoradi. As they say, 3 times a charm. So if you weren't charmed yet, and I certainly have been, let's give it. Let's hear the third one. It's definitely worth to hear. So let's hear a virtual equivalent of a round of applause for that beautiful song for healing. Thank you, Chloe. Truly, tonight's festivities would not have been the same without your contribution. So as our ceremony begins to draw to a close tonight, it is my honor to introduce Dr. Miriam Nisimov, a dedicated academic here at Tel Aviv University and an important member of this foundation's management committee in Israel. Miriam made Aliyah to Israel from Iran during the days of the Iran-Iraq War and went on to serve in the prestigious 8200 Cyber and Signals Intelligence Unit of the IDF. For those of you that have seen Fauda, you know what I'm talking about. Miriam herself was a recipient of one of the foundation's scholarships, and she is an invaluable member of the Iranian and Persian studies community over here at Tel Aviv University. Miriam, thanks for being with us this fine evening, and the floor is yours.
Thank you, Jacob. Dear donors, students and members of Maccabi and Maccabim Foundation. As an alumnus of Maccabim Foundation, I'm honored and excited to have the opportunity to speak at this ceremony. 2 years ago, in a TV program aired in Iran, one of the Jewish community's leaders was asked to explain a unique phenomena of why Iranian Jews, contrary to other Jewish communities, still proudly maintain their Iranian identity and communal ties even decades or generations after having left Iran. The community's leader answer was that the Jews' long history in Iran and their deep connection to Iranian culture and heritage are the main reasons behind this unique phenomenon. But I think a key point that was ignored in that TV program was the existence and strengths of Iranian Jewish organizations, which combine an emphasis on Jewish identity and a dedication to communal activism. This ceremony is a perfect reflection of the spirit and the influence of Iranian Jewish organizations. Due to the continuous efforts and generosity of the heads of Maccabi Foundation in New York, every year the Maccabim Foundation in Israel distributes hundreds of scholarships to students to enhance and promote higher education in Israel, while helping to reduce the economic and social gaps in a way that strengthens our society and the state of Israel as a whole. This vital and fruitful relationship between Jewish communities abroad and Israeli society is a critical source of empowerment for the state of Israel and enables her to work for the security and well-being of Jews all around the world. Thank you.
And thank you, Miriam, for that address that truly encapsulates the great work that this foundation does. So now the show is almost over. We have a final expression of thank yous before the festivities come to a formal end. First off, let's hear an enormous applause, or the virtual equivalent thereof, to our diamond donors, the Muinyan, Naim, and Makhfar families, for the scholarships their generosity has enabled. Our gratitude is, simply put, profound. A big, big thank you to you all. I also want to express our gratitude to all of our participants that tuned in on Zoom and Facebook. As I mentioned, this is our first time doing the year-end ceremony online, and the strong showing that we've had tonight made all of this worth it. To all of our viewers and participants, another big thank you. I would also like to say toda rabba to our student participants and viewers. Your cooperation tonight, combined with the great academic work and research you all perform on a daily basis, deserves serious recognition. Kol hakavod lachem. A thank you is also in order to the dedicated board of the Maccabi Foundation in New York, as well as the board based in Israel. You guys are the gears that make this entire enterprise function. A big applause to you all. And last, but certainly not least, I want to recognize the efforts of Ayelet Dolev, Otal Tayeb, Dr. Nisimov, and Dr. Menashri in making this event happen. We worked very closely together over the past weeks in organizing this Zoom event, and truly we could not have pulled it off without everyone's hard work and close collaboration. And before coming to a final close, I want to hand the floor back over to Professor Menashri for the final word of the night. But thank you to you all. It's been a true pleasure, and we very, very much look forward to working with you and maintaining this relationship in the future. Have a great night to everyone.
I'll be very, very brief. I want also to thank Chloe for her volunteering, Jacob that arrived to Israel as a lone soldier and served in the parachuters in the IDF, and all the other volunteers that was just mentioned. I want to thank the three Diamond families for all their contributions over the years. And I'll end with a message to the students. You know, they often ask me, what is the message to the students? First, we congratulate them, we wish them success. And I'm a member of another organization that won a Nobel Prize for Peace in 1995 that works against polarization and nuclear bombs and so all these ugly things. And the man who received this on behalf of the organization, Professor Rothblatt, said in his talk in Stockholm, receiving this Nobel Prize, he told the people a message that I have to say to you. Remember your humanity. No matter what is your profession, technology, science, everything is important. But in education, the most important thing is to remember your humanity and forget the rest. Don't forget the rest, but also remember to be good human beings. Thank you. I wish you success in your life for yourself, your families, and for the state of Israel. And thank you all for participating in this lovely, we got dozens and dozens of messages over the WhatsApp and Facebook, students who are excited to be Iranians this day, and what is this doing to them and to their family, feeling that there is a community that thinking about them. And the community is the board here, the board there, and all the supporters and donors that some of them we have seen today, but there are many, many others. We are also giving other certificates in memory of other people, and we'll continue it over the years. And I hope to be able to see you shortly next year in Israel, and wishing you all to stay safe and be healthy. Thank you so much for that.